guys, welcome back to Maxie's Kitchen. So this is the third episode of my food mass series this year, and we're just making roast chicken today. Now I used parsley, basil, rosemary and thyme, but feel free to use any type of herbs that you like or that you fancy. Any herbs that you think would work well with your chicken, feel free to use those herbs and use as much as you like. So later in this video, I'm going to give you the instructions on how to win the giveaway for this episode. So back to the cooking. So for this roast, I didn't do much with it. I didn't use a lot of different seasonings. I just used a nice variety of herbs, olive oil, butter, black pepper, salt, and a bit of chili powder. The chili powder is even optional, so I kept it really simple. Just feel free to go wild with your herbs. Use any type of herbs that you want, like I said. Now to our chicken. I used a large chicken, and the first thing I'm going to do, obviously I washed my chicken very well with lemon and all of that, and I patted it dry with kitchen towel. And now I'm scoring the thighs, the drumsticks, like parts of the chicken, which is also connected to the thigh, and this is just to make sure that all of the herbs get into the chicken and it's well seasoned. So as you can see, I'm putting our herb, oil, salt and pepper mix into these places that I've scored on the thigh. Okay, now I think this is a hard bit in the whole process of making this roast chicken. Now you want to lift the skin that is on top of the chicken breast. You want to lift it and separate it from the chicken breast so that we can pack some of those herbs in there, and we'd also put some butter there. So be careful when you're doing this. You can use a spatula to help you separate the skin from the breast, but make sure you don't tear it. So once you do that, you want to pack a lot of the herbs in there and then just spread it throughout that area. Now this is very optional, so I decided to put some of the herbs at the back of the chicken too. You don't have to do this, you can just skip this step and just rub the herbs on the skin of the back, but I did both. So after that, I'm just going to pack the rest of the herbs into the chicken. I'm just going to put it inside the chicken. That's if you have some left. But actually before that, I'm just putting the butter under the skin of the chicken breast. Okay, so that's the first place that we put the herbs. So I'm just going to slide 2 slices of butter under the skin. Now what this is going to do is it's going to keep the skin it's going to make it very crispy, and that's what I wanted to get, and it's going to give it a nice golden color. So don't skip this step, make sure you do it. It's also going to keep it moisturized, because you know that the breast can easily get dry. So yes. After I boiled the lemon, I just used a knife to pierce different parts of the lemon so it can release its juices into the chicken and make it very delicious. So that's what I've just done. Now, people have several ways of tying their whole chicken before they put it in the oven to roast, but I just think that just tying the legs together and making sure everything is intact is what's necessary. So this is how I tied mine. Yeah, so this is how I tied it, and then I put it in the oven. I used kitchen twine to do this. So I'm just using the rest of my herbs to, putting the rest of the herbs on the chicken before it goes in the oven. And for the cooking time, I cooked mine for an hour and a few minutes, but I realized I had to cook it for a much longer time, so I did. So because this was a large chicken, in total it took about an hour and 45 minutes. But it will also depend on the kind of oven that you're using. We'll talk about that later in the video. But for now, these are the vegetables that we're going to put in our pan before we put our chicken on top of them. So this will be like the bed for the chicken. So I just halved one whole bulb of garlic. I have some chopped spring onions there. I didn't chop them very little. I made them quite chunky. And I added a rosemary sprig and some sprigs of thyme as well. You only need to season with salt, pepper, and a bit of olive oil. Toss that in and pour it into the pan. Then again, these are the herbs that I decided to add, rosemary and thyme, but feel free to use any other thing that you want to use. So I'm just transferring them into my pan now, and we're going to just spread them out a bit and then put our whole chicken on the bed of vegetables, and then we'll put it in the oven. So we're going to bake this for an hour and 45 minutes in a preheated oven at 220 degrees Celsius. Make sure your oven is preheated before you put the chicken in. It might take shorter if you're using a smaller chicken. So this is what we got after about an hour and 15 minutes. I actually put it back to cook for some more time before I took it out again. Now once your chicken is done, you want to set it aside to cool down before you slice the chicken. And we're going to use the stock and everything that we got to make like a gravy. Now the vegetables weren't soft enough, so I added a cup of water and I put it back in the oven just to soften the vegetables and for everything to come together nicely for a few minutes. And after I did that, I tried to take as much oil as I could from the stock because you don't want a lot of oil in your gravy. So after a few minutes, I just took it out and poured it through a sieve into a pot over medium heat. And then I added some cornstarch slurry. So that's just cornstarch mixed with water. And then you just pour that into the gravy. So that's the thickening agents that I used. And once you mix it, after some time, it should thicken up a bit. You don't want it to get too thick before you pour your gravy out of the pot, because once it's out, it will thicken over time. So you just have to season that with salt and pepper just to taste to your liking. Yeah, and then everything should come together nicely. So now for this giveaway, the first thing you have to do is to actually subscribe to my channel and send me proof of that on Instagram, like always. And the second thing is to follow my Instagram, which is maxis_kitchen. The third thing you have to do is to comment below on this video one thing that you like about Maxis Kitchen, or one thing that you would want to see Maxis Kitchen do. It's that simple. So you just need to do that to enter into the giveaway, and then who knows, you might be the winner. Details of what I'll be giving away would be listed below. And yeah, I just hope you guys enter. And I can't wait to see you guys try this recipe as well. It looks very good, doesn't it? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to share with your friends, and to like this video as well. Thank you for staying tuned. Bye.